to build products and to build platforms that they will showcase tonight. And before we look at the showcase and we start with the pitches, I just would like to introduce a bit more about the Wagon. I know that we have a few ex-students and a few people who know quite well about it, but we have some new faces as well. So just in a couple of words, explaining what we do. So what's the Wagon? We have one mission, it's to bring technical skills to creative people. When we say creative people, it's people who want to create something, either as the job, either as their hobby. And usually we have three main targets when people come. There are three main objectives. That's either to launch a startup, so they would like to know enough coding skills to be able to build their own MVP, to kickstart the product. Other people would like to change careers and find a job in the tech industry, either as developers, either as project managers, sometimes in marketing as well. And the third category of students that we have the most are people who want to become freelancers and try alternative ways of working, especially in Japan. It's quite different to be a freelancer and a kaishain. So that's either to have a side job or a main activity as a freelancer. And the bootcamp itself runs for 2 months, for 9 weeks, and it's for beginners and what we call half beginners, people who've been working a little bit on coding, maybe learning alone on Code Academy or other platforms. So we start at the very beginning with the basics, teaching Ruby. We use the Ruby language for this. The basics with Ruby programming, command line, Git, and then we move to more complex topics like software engineering, software architecture, object-oriented programming, and how to build a software using database, using front-end with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and many other libraries. And during the second part of the program, so after about 5 weeks, bring everything together with a framework called Ruby on Rails, so that they can prototype websites very quickly. So that's very technical, that's a lot of technical terms, but it's not only about code. Code is a tool, and is a tool to build products. So that's what we try to push a lot during the program. Code is only a tool for you to build things. And here you can see a couple of examples that you could still see online of platforms built by students. But in general, it means you need to acquire a rich set of skills. Not only pure technical skills, but you need to understand what product thinking is, so what to build before even coding anything. Engineering, of course, how to build it, and that would be with code. UI and UX, so user interface, user experience, to make sure that everything is intuitive, everything is well designed so that your users want to come back to the application. And also, that's a big part, how to collaborate and work as a team. And I would say that maybe the most challenging part of the experience at the end, how to build things together with different roles, with different responsibilities, and that's what will be expected in companies afterwards. So that's why it's important to get used to that. So just to sum up, that's 9 weeks for the bootcamp. That's over 400 hours of code to get new skills, to get a new mindset, and also to get new opportunities after that. Something we are very proud of is for 2 or 3 years, consecutive years, we've been voted the first coding bootcamp in the world, so we are in 30 locations now in the world, and by industry experts and ratings, we are very proud of this achievement. So that means more than 500 products built worldwide. You can see that if you check the demo day. We're going to put the video of this demo day online later as well. That's also active startups created by alumni. Sorry if you get seasick. Created by alumni and that are still in activity, and some of them are performing very well because some of them raised significant amounts of money. I think this one, the Plateau startup, actually got sold a couple of months ago to Apple in Europe. So we have some nice success stories for startup founders. also for people working at different companies. So you see some big names and you see some smaller names as well. So graduates could join Google or Amazon. We have a few examples of that, but many of them also join smaller companies and design agencies and VC firms sometimes as well. So typically we have people from business schools becoming developers, creating company, raising money, and going back to the business side of the activity as well. And in Japan, we have some nice success stories. So some people became project managers, some others are working at Chipenko right now. It's a nice startup here in Kyoto, I'm sure you've heard of it. And we have also one person who became a business developer at Amazon in Meguro. So in total 30 cities, that's more than 4,000 people in a very active community. So everything is centered around different Slack channels and you can always find someone to help you or to discuss a topic with you. And well, it's just a great community. I think the students in this batch as well had a lot of fun together during hours, but also after hours and during weekends. And it's a big human experience before all. So that was it about the Wagon, but now what you are here for the pitches, so now it's pitch time. So we're going to start with two pitches. We have only two pitches actually, but we're going to start with the first one. And the first one is all about insects. So I hope that you like insects, and if you don't like them, you will get information about them anyway. So I would like to welcome Insectifier on stage.
Good evening, everyone. So this summer, I went with my parents and my sisters to Ecuador. And a part of our trip was spending a few days inside the Amazon rainforest. And there we slept in huts, and each bed in the hut had a mosquito net, because the malaria mosquito does live there. And one night, after a few exhausting activities, we came back home to get some sleep. But my sister noticed there was already an insect inside her mosquito net. And once it's inside, it can be difficult to get it outside. So she asked me to remove it. Now, I'm not really a fan of insects, but I'm not afraid of them either. But still, I was hesitating to help her out. And one of the reasons was, in Belgium, where I'm from, you don't really have a lot of dangerous insects. But all the dangerous insects I know, they do live in the Amazon rainforest. And this one looked like a wasp, so there was probably a possibility that it could sting, or maybe it was poisonous. So in the end, my dad removed it. But it made me wonder, was my fear actually valid? Maybe it wasn't harmful at all. And that's why my team and I decided to develop Insectifier. And Insectifier identifies insects just by taking or uploading a picture of it. So let me show you how it works. So let's imagine we're still in the Amazon rainforest, but now we have this app to help us out. And we come across a colony of ants. Now, they don't look so dangerous, and they are maybe a little bit bigger than the ones I'm used to, but let's take no risk and take a picture of them and upload it. So Insectifier is now using image recognition to identify the right insect, which can take some time. But we have a nice animation. Alright, so the insect we have identified is a bullet ant. It seems like dangerous. Maybe let's check out the description. So you can see, known as a bullet ant, named for its extremely potent sting. So I guess we are happy we used the app before we touched it barehanded. And as you can see, we can also add it to our collection. And what this does, this way our user can keep track of all the insects they have encountered, and they can access this information anytime they want. And it's also just a fun part to save as many insects in your collections. So let's do that and add it to our collection. Here we can see all the insects we have already gathered, the total insects and the unique insects we have encountered. So let's, for example, take a look at the German yellow jacket. So yeah, we get the same information, the same screen as before, but with some extra information, like how many times we have encountered it, description, and we can also see our previous encounters when we took other pictures of the same insect. And adding insects to our collection alone is already fun, but we added some more incentives, so that the user is more engaged, and we kind of give them like a learning or exploration assignment. And we did this by implementing challenges. So, what challenges are, they actually require the user to capture or search for a specific insect, like an ant, a wasp, or a bee. And then, after you have this specific insect, you can claim its reward. And the reward
few insects, or maybe in some countries there are, but the next one is all about wine, so I hope you're in the mood for a good wine. We're coming, pick my wine.
Can you hear me? Yes. Yes, good. Hi everyone, thanks a lot for joining us here at this venue today. My name is Min, and along with me are my teammates Josh.
Hi, Josh.
And Francis. So, as you know, today's our last day of our 9 weeks of coding bootcamp, very sadly. And for me personally, one of the highlights of this bootcamp has been to get to know this really fun bunch of guys here, including Josh. So, let me tell you something about Josh that you might not know yet. So, Josh has just turned 20. And like everyone else who just turned 20, he is really eager to, let's say, expand his horizon when it comes to drinking, like drinking fruit juices and also drinking wine. So one of the nights after our boot camp, a group of us decided to go to a wine bar. So we went to the wine bar, and by then Josh has had maybe 3 bottles or so of wine before, but he's still pretty new to wine, so he turns to Francis and me to ask what wine should he pick. But the problem is, I myself don't know much about wine. I'm pretty much a wine newbie. So that got me thinking, wouldn't it be really cool if there is an app that is like a mobile sommelier? I hope I pronounced it correctly, sommelier. Sommelier. Wouldn't it be really cool if you have your mobile sommelier that knows what kind of wine that you like, and wherever you go, it'll recommend the right wine for you. And sure, you can go on Google, Wikipedia, and look for the top-rated wines, but it's not the same. You don't want something that other people have rated as high. You want something that is really personalized for your taste, because everyone's taste is different. So that's why we created our app called Pick My Wine. So let's take a look at how it works. So as a guest, you can create your initial wine profile by simply filling up a fun quiz. And this quiz isn't like a wine quiz or trivia that tests how much you know about wine, but it's just a fun quiz that really tries to test out what is your taste preference like. So let's actually give it a try with Josh. So 5 simple questions, starting with the first one. Josh, do you prefer red wine, white wine, or does it matter?
I'd say I actually prefer white wine out of the ones I've had so far.
Oh, okay. All right. Next question. Ooh, this is a fun one. What kind of chocolate do you like? Do you like white, milk, or dark?
I have to say milk chocolate's the best, definitely.
That's the same as me. Next. What kind of fruit do you like? And let me guess, could it be tropical fruits?
It is tropical.
I just know it. And what kind of scent do you like? Fruity, vanilla, creamy, something more herbal?
I love vanilla.
Alright, and the last question. What kind of cheese do you like?
I'm a firm cheese guy.
Yeah, firm cheese guy. Alright. So let's now create Josh's initial wine profile. Ooh, and aromatic and floral is your initial wine profile. And along with this, you can see some characteristics of what this is, what the flavors are like, and some key wines you should try just to get you started. So this is pretty cool, yeah. But you know what? There's much more to this. If you sign up, you can unlock full features, which means one, you can use the app to bring it around wherever you are and take a picture of the wine list, and it will recommend the right wine for you. And secondly, over time, you'll also learn and build your profile so that your next wine will always be the best one. So let's give it a go. So it's really easy to create an account, and I really encourage all of you to try it after this. But for us to save some time, we're gonna log in to an account for Josh that we already have. jcondor729, password.
This is very super secret.
Oh, very super secret password. Alright. And now we're logged in to Josh's profile. So let's all imagine we're now at a wine bar, like a Japanese-inspired Spanish tapas bar called Bordado. So at Bordado, where Josh is casually sitting, the waitress brings a wine menu like this along to Josh and says, "Josh, what wine would you like to have?"
I have no idea.
This is what Josh would have said. But now that he has Pick My Wine, the perfect app, he can use it to be much more confident about ordering wine. So let's try that out. So you get two options. Do you want Josh just wine, or do you want to pair it with food?
I'm quite thirsty, so I'll just try some wine.
Right, you're gonna drink a lot, okay? Let's try that. Wine only. So let's now take a picture of the wine list. Get a nice angle for the Bordado without the shadow. Wait. Ah, good job, Francis. Alright, so Josh, do you prefer wet wine, white wine, or does it really matter?
Let's go with the white one.
Sticking to your preferences.
Yes.
And do you want to explore out of your comfort zone, meaning you want to try wine that you typically wouldn't really get, so different from your usual?
Let's stick to what I know.
Safe guy, alright. And let's pick Josh's wine. And meanwhile, what's happening in the background is that the image recognition gets triggered, identifies all the different wine names in the wine menu, and it pulls out data about each of the wine, runs it through some complex algorithm that will pick the right wine for Josh based on his profile and preferences. So while that's running, Josh, do you want to sing us a song?
I'd rather not.
Woo. I looked really calm, but I wasn't inside. I let us out. But usually it shouldn't take this long. It's about 10 to 20 seconds. So here is the wine for Josh. This is the closest wine that matches Josh's profile. And you get to see some descriptions about the wine. So Josh, do you want to have this, or do you want to see another one?
Let's see another one.
See another one? All right. How about this one from New Zealand? Do you want to try this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Pick this. And you get to see some fun trivia about the wine, like what notes there are, what food is good with it. So Josh, now you can confidently order your wine.
Can I have the Cloudy Bay Sauvignon Blanc, please? From New Zealand?
Didn't he sound so sophisticated? So, at this point, Josh has an option to pick another wine from the existing list, or you can change the preference. So, Josh, what would you like to do?
You know, I'm actually kind of hungry.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I want some steak.
All right. So, Josh wants to pair the wine with some food. So, let's change preferences. What food? You said steak, right? So that's beef. Yeah, same. And let's pick the wine. And this is the wine that best matches Josh's preference in beef and his wine profile as well. From Opus 1, Napa Valley, US. So, do you want to try this?
Oh, I see a different one.
You want to see another one? Okay. See next. You get a Cloudy Bay as well. Do you want to try this?
No, I did.
Go back. Okay, let's see previous. All right. So you're gonna stick to this one. Pick this. All right. So now that you're done, you can go to the rating. And here you'll see all the wines that Josh has. And what the rating does is that it helps to know what Josh likes. Did he like the wine or did he not like the wine? And based on that, it learns Josh's preferences and updates his wine profile along the way. So Josh, which one would you like to rate?
I really enjoyed the Cloudy Bay.
All right. Let's rate that. So out of 3 stars, Josh, what would you give to this wine?
Definitely 3 stars.
Okay, 3 stars. For the next wine, do you want something lighter or do you want something heavier?
A bit lighter. It was kind of heavy. Yeah.
Okay, so something lighter. And let's rate the wine. Ooh. And you can see something really fun here, which is you get to reveal expert score. And what this means is it pulls in data about the global experts and what they thought about the wine, and you can compare their taste with yours. So are you ready, Josh?
I'm ready.
All right. Oh, they've also rated us outstanding, so you have a very sophisticated palate. Now that we've rated the wine, let's see Josh's profile. And this is the profile that is most updated for Josh based on his preferences. So if you remember in the beginning, when Josh first took the quiz, we had aromatic and floral. But now that Josh has tried some wines and rated, it has updated based on Josh's preference to now a bold and structured wine. So here in the profile page, you get to see Josh's wine type and more about it, what kind of flavors, the grapes that he should try, what he can pair it with, even what he can say when ordering so he wouldn't fumble next time. And you can also see the wine statistics, what kind of wine he had by country, by color, by grape type. And you can see, for example, that almost half were from US, like a true patriot that Josh is. And finally at the bottom, you can see some wine history of all the different wines that Josh had, when, and so on. So this is Pick My Wine, and thanks to this handy app, we're now able to, from a wine newbies like Josh and I, very quickly become wine appreciator thanks to our mobile sommelier, Pick My Wine. Thank you.
This is the joys of live pitching, so good job. Any questions on Pick My Wine?
When is it planned to be available?
You can use it right now.